seasonality speaks to the point of what you were just mentioning, Dr. a minute ago, in terms of making sure you're capturing the appropriate amount of media contribution. So in many cases, the media marketing contribution might be somewhere between, 5 and 50%. In big CPG companies, other offers, all these other things, the media contribution is relatively small, but to your point, seasonality could make that number appear larger. My question about multi-colinearity was less about exogenous non-media variables and specifically about competing media variables that are flighted at the same time. I mean,
Yeah.
Such as your cable and primetime TV is usually
Absolutely.
the most classic example.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, that's right. So so basically you're running multiple campaigns simultaneously. It's almost collinear with each other, and it's hard to separate. So there are multiple.
Can I try a summary payment? Maybe you can tell me. So 3 things you talked about, right, for addressing collinearity. One is stuff like principal component analysis, which is a statistical method, helps you kind of decorrelate it by creating principal components from the data, number 1. Number 2 is mixed models. Number 3 is testing. And can you unpack the mixed models for us a little bit? How would you aggregate? What's an example of a mixed model that helps you deal with collinearity? Can you probably give a example of your experience?
Sure. So in one mixed model, so for example, if you're trying to estimate the effectiveness of, so let's say you have two input signals, being, again, I'll give an example of TV in Boston and TV in, let's say, the DC area or New York. So if you're essentially, you can actually decompose basically when you're parameterizing your model. So you have an effect for, let's say the channel effect, and then you have a geography effect. By doing this, you're reducing the number of free parameters that you are estimating. So instead of doing all kinds of combinations of inputs and outputs or stimulation responses, you would be managing that to an effect, by aggregating the data. And this way, it's not that it will eliminate collinearity, but the chances that you get a collinear effect becomes a little bit lower because you will have fewer parameters to estimate. So your matrices become a little bit better shaped, or the condition of the matrices become a little bit better because you do not have a lot of free parameters that you're trying to estimate. So that's one of the approaches, but again, it may not really eliminate the collinearity, but it does a better management of the size of the data you're dealing with, and as an aftermath, it might actually, or as a byproduct rather, it may help you eliminate that. But the standard way, again, going through the statistical model or the principal component and just addressing collinearity, or doing something with respect to the doing the experimentation if you really cannot get rid of that collinearity.